15-year-old girl, and she and her friend were bored during the summer, and they went to the rougher side of the street called Field, Maine, getting to a rough part of town and getting her and her friend Abby involved in a murder case. And it looks like a treehouse might be involved. Maybe it's a magic treehouse. I know you guys really like stories about magic treehouses. All right, so let's bring up everybody, Skylar. Skylar Evans, come join the set of Book Talking. Thank you for being here. We're so excited to learn about your life. Okay, so you have a friend, Abby, correct? And you and Abby get into some kind of trouble because you're so curious. Tell us about the kind of trouble you got into.
Being too curious at the wrong time got me and Abby involved with drug dealers and physical danger, from being too invested in this couple, leading me to search them, thinking they were cheaters, seeing each other just like my own father did with another woman. And by being too curious and wanting to be an investigator and involved in my own trauma, it got me and Abby in serious consequences and danger.
Oh, well, that's kind of sad. So your father wasn't a faithful man, and so you see this other couple and you think that they're cheaters too? And this somehow leads you to assume that they're drug dealers?
No, it assumed me to thinking that they were seeing each other in private, but by doing that, we got involved with people that were selling drugs around that part.
Got it. Okay, so there's another acquaintance of yours named Rob, and he becomes part of this
Yes.
murder mystery too?
Yes, Rob is Abby's older brother, but Robin has got involved with his friends as his friends showed him drugs and took him to the forest and introduced him to it. He started seeking me out late at night, and he started changing his personality and distancing himself, and he was more reserved to himself. And Rob would buy the drugs from these two boys called Jason and Carter. They were the top school boys at his school.
All right, so just because you were curious, you ended up getting your friend Abby's brother to become a drug addict, it sounds like. Horrible. Okay, so then you and Abby are out there in the forest and you're keeping quiet. And how does that change your relationship all this time you're spending in the woods together?
Honestly, from seeing some dead animals where they were not supposed to be hunted and seeing the top school bullies there, I told Abby to keep quiet and to stop telling the truth, as I wanted to keep investigating and what was the real cause behind all of this from the couple and the drug dealers and the dead animals. So I told him just to keep quiet for now. And it got us distant, as she was really close to me before, but I didn't want to tell the adults and it asked her not to.
Okay, so did you ever figure out what these dead animals had to do with this whole?
What I figured is, what if it was the couple that hunted them down, or was it Jason and Carter, or was it Rob and his friends?
Okay, so you seem like you're really determined to figure this out. Was Abby okay being pushed as hard as you wanted her to solve this crime?
Honestly, I think I did push her too hard, as she is such an honest person, and by getting her influenced by me, she changed and started to lie. Out of having such a sweet personality, she started becoming less quieter and distancing herself from her mom.
All right, so for a teenager who's kind of bored and curious to think that maybe you're gonna solve a big mystery, that could be a fun and exciting summer, like a kind of a game that you're playing here, but it doesn't sound like that is kind of what happened here. This seems a little more serious than just some fun time in the summer. Was it enjoyable or too much?
It was too much, as it got Abby caught by Jason and Carter. They held her hostage and getting her injured, as her brother Rob was supposed to pay Jason and Carter back, but they didn't, so they went for Abby and hold her hostage so Rob could pay the money.
So your good friend's Abby's older brother is not paying for his drugs, and so they come after her?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so did you ever figure out who the murderer was?
Yes, me and Abby figured it out, as it was Jason and Carter who told us about it, as they witnessed the murder happen right in front of them as they sold drugs to older high schoolers. We confronted them at school, as during school hours, as they were really quiet, and they told us it was Paul, Carter's uncle, and the person he murdered was the art teacher in the school.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So, is drug dealers have an uncle, and that's the person
who
who
killed the
murdered
art teacher.
the
And
art teacher.
Jason and Carter sold drugs for the uncle.
What was his motivation for killing the art teacher?
Because the art teacher would threaten him as she found out his secret during the forest, as she was the one meeting up with him in the forest. They were not actually a couple, she was threatening him to report him. But what he did was he took her to the forest and murdered her.
So in order to cover up his crimes, he felt like he had to commit murder. Wow. All right, well, this is Skylar, everybody, who has solved the murder case of the school's art teacher. Any questions from our studio audience for Skylar today?
Raise your hand, John.
I have a question. Is Dory in here?
Well, Josh is supposed to go before.
Is
mine.
JoJo Dupree here?
Josh is supposed
All
to go
right,
first.
well, Skylar, thank you so much. I want you to move down a chair. It was so good learning about your life story. And now, everyone,
Joshua.
I see Joshua. But now, everyone, let's give it up for JoJo Dupree. As you can see here, he survived Hurricane Katrina when he was just a little boy, just a 10-year-old. So let's welcome to the stage and find out about his life. Ladies and gentlemen, JoJo Dupree.
Hey.
Hello, JoJo. First question, do you go by Joe or JoJo? Either or. All right. Now, surviving Hurricane Katrina, it looks like a massive storm here. Everybody got really flooded here. That seems like it would be very difficult to do. Were you by yourself or you with your family?
I was with my mom, dad, and my sister. But
Alright.
my mother ended up leaving with our aunt.
So how did you survive this big storm?
Originally, we were just getting out of a house, and one of our neighbors ended up falling. Couldn't get up because of the current. So my dad sent us, me and my sister, in an inflatable raft, and we had to we had to paddle through the flooded streets of our neighborhood down to the Superdome.
That sounds kind of cool, though, to be able to use the streets for like a roadway. And you got a little, couldn't do that you're on, but maybe it was a little difficult. Was there anything challenging about surviving this?
Yes, there's very many challenges.
What was the most difficult thing, or what was hard about surviving the hurricane?
Mostly the lack of clean drinking water, safe food to eat, and just the heat with the humidity really made it hard to kind of not pass out or be exhausted.
All right, so I remember from the news stories there of all these people were getting thrown into the Superdome and whatnot, but then the water eventually receded and you got to go back home. So what was difficult about going home after the water had receded?
So our house was originally in very bad shape, mold everywhere. Some of our walls were kind of broken, but my dad ended up working as construction, so he got to fix it. And it's just very hard to come back, seeing everything kind of changed in our house.
Well, I imagine you would have been pretty anxious to come back though, because life inside the Superdome could not have been very fun.
It was not fun whatsoever.
What was that like?
It smelled really bad. No one could have showered. There was a big hole keeping in humidity, and there's just not a very clear instruction before you get food and water.
All right, so all those people jammed into that Superdome and bad ventilation and everybody's scared and not having home, that would have been a huge change in your life. But before all that happened, before the flood hit, what was your life in New Orleans like?
I would say it was very fun. I hung out with my friends a lot. We ended up building some games together. It was really fun just to code.
All right. And what was it like to be in a flooded town?
It was a very weird experience. There was like 10 to 15 feet of water, just pretty much only tops of houses, floating down the flooded streets. It was very murky, you couldn't see the bottom. And there's lots of people on their roofs waiting to be rescued.
What would you say is the number one thing is that you learned or were made aware of by going through all this?
That can be very unexpected, and there's lots of small gangers that you think are very hard to survive.
Interesting. Well, I been through a flood myself, but I'm sure that the studio audience out here would like to know some more specific details or have some question about it. One more. Did you have any animals? I saw
We
these
had-
videos of all these dogs and cats up on the roof. Did you guys have any animals?
Yes, we had a cat and a turtle, which I ended up stuffing the turtle in my bag with its cage. And our cat kind of was stuck in a tree. Our dad said he would be fine, which I was kind of scared for him. But after a few weeks of us coming back, he ended up finding his way back home.
Cat always comes back. Yeah, amazing. All right, studio audience, any questions for JoJo about his?
Yes, up right here.
Did anybody die?
Many people did it.
Like how many?
I don't remember
On a
the
scale of
numbers.
1 to 10.
1,000. Eddie,
Well, probably-
Did your house get wet?
1,000?
Yes, our house was very flooded and destroyed from the water.
before we bring up our next guest, we wanted to thank JoJo for being here and welcome our newest sponsor, Solar Stride Sneakers, one more time. Solar Stride.
That one's good.
And now it's time to bring up a 26-year-old who suffered the loss of his father because his father froze to death when he was only 10 years old. Oh, thanks for finding another chair for yourself. We got more guests than we know what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you Sig. All right, Sig, tell us a little bit about your life.
So when I was 10, my dad kind of died in our house.
Kind of died or did
Well,
die?
he did die. He froze to death because our house was very cold. It had no blankets or warmth in it, and he had a death. He owed people some gold because he stole it, and they
Okay,
came.
let's hold back up here. So, you live in a house that doesn't have heat,
Yeah, it doesn't.
okay, and your dad sells gold?
No, he stole gold.
He stole some gold.
Can't buy some.
Yeah,
Okay.
when his dad was alive, he stole from the gold rush.
All right,
The people
so
that he was working for.
this is back in the olden times.
Yes.
So we're talking gold rush times, like 1849.
Yeah.
Okay, so this title of this book that you existed in is called Revolver. Are there any guns in this story?
Yes. So when they came to come take the gold, they were gonna kill me. So then I looked for my dad's old revolver and I shot them.
So you're a murderer.
Well, they were gonna kill me first.
All right, so in self-defense, you killed two people who wanted to rob your dad.
Yeah.
Or just steal back from your dad.
Yes.
And how old were you when you murdered these people?
10.
And then your father froze to death, or was he
No, so I
already?
froze to death.
Okay, so that's why they're coming to get you, because your dad wasn't there.
Yes.
Why did your dad freeze to death and you survive? It seemed like the younger kid would be more likely to freeze to death.
Because he gave me the blanket and he didn't have the blanket.
Oh, wow. What a good father. And a thief.
What is
Yeah.
that?
Okay, so after you murder these guys, and you don't freeze to death, what is your life like now?
Oh, so I go to find my dad's gold that he hid because he had like a bunch that he took from them.
Okay, and you're just kind of on the run looking for gold. Living by yourself? Do you have any other family that help you?
Nope.
10-year-old with a gun with
Where does he live?
Where do I
Where do you
live?
live?
Where I live?
Yeah.
I don't live anywhere.
You don't know where you live?
No, I just have a tent.
he's a homeless person.
Where in the country of the world? Don't worry now. He's getting that part.
Moved away to Texas. Okay, anybody with any questions for Sig here? Spencer has one, yes.
What?
How big was the blanket?
Normal blanket size. Yes, Eddie?
Why don't you share the blanket with your dad? Because I wanted it.
Because he was cold, obviously.
Do you have any family members?
I just said no.
Yeah. Do you have access to any gold still?
Yes.
Good. One more question.
So how big was the blanket?
He just asked that.
Oh.
All the way in the back, yes.
Why didn't you say your dad?
He gave me the blanket.
Why didn't you share it? Cut it up. Selfish. Lock in, bro.
I think this is hard to talk about. His father gave him a
You
blanket.
killed people.
He obviously thought his father's gonna be okay, and
No, I didn't.
it didn't work out for him. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that about wraps up our talk show for today. I don't think we have any other commercials we need to watch. Let's double check here. I think we've seen them all.
We haven't seen the shoe one. Go back to the shoe. We haven't seen the shoe.
We haven't
Have
seen
one very
this
detailed
commercial.
in the shoe.
Cool shoe.
Really gonna like this shoe.
There we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Let's give him a big final round of applause.